Hello and welcome to Two Beers Till Takeoff. My name is Phil, and today's guest is a YouTuber from Plymouth, England. Throughout his travels, he's been to Southeast Asia, Africa, and most recently Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. In his spare time, he likes to dream about a time where Manchester United was the best football team in its city. Check out his very popular YouTube and Instagram channels. Backpacker Ben. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Cheers, mate. Nice. This is my first podcast that I've accepted. I've been offered a few, but I've seen yours and I thought, yeah, I'll do that. It seems more chill.
Hey, listen, I appreciate that. But anyways, I think we have to dive into the topic of the hour, which is the World Cup. I know as an England fan, the World Cup has not always been a bright thing, but I think I'd love your thoughts on how the team's going to do this year.
Mate, to be honest, I'm not that bothered. Honestly, England football team is full of people I don't like them as footballers. So you got it's all Man City players, Liverpool players, and I'm
not enough United guys.
Yeah, so I'm more of a club football. Obviously, I'm going to support England, of course I am, but I'm not really feeling it this year. I'm not really feeling this World Cup. I think it's because it's in the summer, it's in the winter. Normally in the summer,
Qatar too?
Yeah, it's in Qatar. Like normally you're in I'll go London and spend the weekend with my mates and drink and stuff. But this is I'm going to be sat at home watching it on TV or something. I don't know.
It's going to be weird, yeah. And it almost seems like it's the first World Cup with rules. You know what I mean? Like if you're a fan going to the World, sorry,
as in the Muslim rules there. You mean?
Yeah, it just seems like. If I'm going to watch, I would have loved to go to see a World Cup, right? But going to Qatar seems like I'd be walking on eggshells a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I don't think, especially English people, they don't understand the culture of these countries. They're going to go there, drink, and cause all sorts of problems. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I don't think Qataris are ready for the English to go there.
No, I don't think so either.
Places. I've read online, so they need to be careful and need to respect the culture. Rule number one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking forward to the videos that are going to come out of drunken shenanigans. But anyways,
it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah. So listen, you've got a really popular YouTube channel. I'm not just saying this. It's actually really really good. So can you tell me a bit about your journey of becoming a YouTuber?
To be fair, I've only taken it seriously in the last year or so. The first time I did it was just out of laughs, just filming India basically, and didn't think anything of it. And then I filmed all my videos, left the country, and started posting them, and they got good attention and stuff. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then I was like, holy shit, people are actually watching this crap. It's the worst video ever, terribly edited. And then obviously COVID hit, so I had a whole year of no travel, no traveling at all. And then I went to Africa, spent 6 months in Africa, kind of took it somewhat seriously, did probably 30 videos, not that many, I could have done 100. But then I came home, took a few months off, and then after that, I guess I started taking it seriously from there. So I'd say I've been doing it seriously for a year and a half.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you should be taking it more seriously because you're getting a lot of good feedback. That a lot of listeners, a lot of views and subscribers. So definitely continue. People are loving your content.
Cheers, mate. It's exhausting. That's good.
How many videos did it take for you to become viral, or for your channel to really blow up?
Oh, mate, it's weird. It comes and goes. Views can plummet, and all of a sudden, the algorithm can be cruel. I've done videos that deserve 500,000 views, in my opinion, and they'll be on 30,000. I'm like, why is this got 30,000 views? It doesn't make any sense. Yet I'll go to some crappy restaurant, eat some local dish, and I'll have 300,000 views. It's so frustrating, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the title or certain topics. It's
the
thumbnail.
The thumbnail's crucial as well. That's the hardest part, in my opinion. The bloody thumbnail, choosing that. and then you post it, and you're like, oh shit, like I don't like that thumbnail anymore. You change it, oh, it's a nightmare. There's a lot to think about when you're doing the videos. So yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta this question here I gotta know. When you describe your job, because this is your full-time job, right?
Yeah, it's when people say, "What do you do for a living?" I'm embarrassed to say YouTube. I hate that question because people just assume you're like the cheesy, typical, "Hey guys, welcome to Thailand. This is the top 5 most beautiful beaches," and I'm just like, that's the complete opposite of what I do.
Like
I'm
Bald
just
and Bankrupt.
Well,
No, I'm just talking shit.
all right, okay, yeah. So yeah, he's prime example. He'll just be himself on camera
No.
and go places and just show it how it is, and that's pretty much what I tend to do as well. And I'm just myself. I'm just myself on camera. I've met people that watch my videos in real life within a minute, and they're like, "You're exactly the same you are in videos." I'm like, "Well, yeah, obviously, like, yeah."
Yeah. But so how do you describe your job to your grandparents?
They're terrified, mate. Whenever they're like close to 90, and like when they find out I'm going to certain places, they'll message me like, "Don't go there." Like, obviously, I went to Ukraine like 2 months ago. My grandma messaged me begging me not to go. And I said to her, "Don't worry, it's going to be completely fine," all this stuff. And I messaged her when I got there. But when I went to Afghanistan, she was like, "Oh, have a great time." I was like, "Oh, what's going on there?" But,
Yeah, just the Taliban's just running the country. We're gonna be fine. Don't worry, Grandma.
yeah. Nah, it was good fun. It was good fun. Intense.
Yeah, I guess we'll dive into that a little later. But when you're traveling, how do you balance filming and staying in the moment and enjoying yourself?
Yeah, so a lot of people think that I'd be filming everything, but it's the complete opposite. I'd film probably 5% of the whole journey. Because people think like I'm always in the mood for filming. You're not. Like most of the time, I can't be asked. Like you have to work up your weight. You have to psych yourself up to film. Like get some energy, get the camera out, and like film what you want to film. So it's not just all like you film the entire day. It's like choosing when you want to do it, and you've got the right mindset to do it in. Sometimes I'll go to a country and not even film it because I'm not feeling it. Like just
Yeah.
So what was the question?
So like when you're traveling, how do you balance filming and staying in the moment? Because like you're saying that you're not filming all the time, but you know what I mean? Sometimes you're in places where you're like, oh, I have to film, or maybe I'm feeling good and I want to film. But how do you film? You know what I mean? How do you kind of do your job and also have a good time at the same time?
Yeah, I can still live in the moment, no problem. If I don't want to film it, I don't film it. And people will say to me like, "Aren't you going to film this? This is good." And I'm like, "Nah, I can't be asked. I'll just get a photo and just, I don't want to film this." So yeah, I can balance.
So it's like selective, being a bit more selective, or filming when you feel like it.
Well, yeah, you have to be. I don't just force myself to film and put out a shitty video. I'd want the video to be good. Like a lot of YouTubers will go to say, I don't know, Pakistan, and they'll film 70 videos in a month, in 2 weeks, film 3 a day. And I'm not. I can't do that. I'll do like 1 a day and make it like a journey and make it a story of what's going on. But each their own. If people do that, and that's cool.
Yeah. I have to bring attention to your Instagram page. It's like I said to the listeners, your YouTube page and your Instagram are absolutely awesome. For example, in one of your pictures, you're sitting next to a hyena.
Oh yeah.
Can I get a bit more context how that happened?
It's actually not as dangerous as you probably think. Well, it kind of is. I mean, I think the hyena, the strongest bite in the whole kingdom.
Strongest bite, yeah.
So basically, you go to a place in Ethiopia on the east called Hara or something, and there's a guy there called the Hyena Man, and he's basically spent his whole life with these pet hyenas. They're not pets; they're like wild hyenas, but he's like a hyena whisperer, like that lion whisperer man.
Yeah.
But apparently, his dad got killed and eaten by hyenas. I think that's the truth. I think that's the story. If it's a rumor, I don't know.
But there's always these like bear guys, the lion guy, and they always end up dying. Like, what are they doing?
I don't know. So the guy's dad got killed and eaten by hyenas. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. And his son is now the hyena whisperer. So you just turn up, you chuck him like £4, and you feed hyenas for like 5 minutes, and then he demands more money. So you're like, oh, see you later.
That's pretty fucking intense, though.
Yeah, it was good.
Because I mean, like, it's still a wild animal.
Yeah, mate, I was pretty scared. I'll be honest. Hyenas are huge. Like, they're not even that smaller than they're smaller than a lion, but a lioness, they're pretty much the same size. They're massive, and their jaws are like they're huge. So when you're right up next to one with one's face next to yours, it's pretty scary. Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah, Jesus.
And another picture that's really that caught my attention on your Instagram page. You're swimming with a shark. Don't let grandma see that one, man.
Oh, that's nothing, mate. That's a bloody, what do you call it? A bottom feeder.
It's still a shark, dude.
Nah,
it's intense for me. I gravitate towards the animals and stuff like that. Just, I don't know if it's just a Canada thing that we got a shit ton of crazy animals here, but yeah. Anyways, it looked really cool. You should tell people it's a great white.
I would like to do the great white. You can do that in South Africa, where I'm hoping to go in January. So,
yeah,
it's possible.
Did you ever see the video when they're doing the cage diving and then the shark ends up in the cage with the person?
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's fucking intense. Don't watch that one right before you do it, right?
Oh, mate, it'd be. Well, I hope that does happen and I get it on film. That would hopefully go viral.
Fuck. Hopefully you leave with all your limbs.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
So I also want to talk a little bit about a place that I don't think a lot of people know about. So a lot of people know about Somalia. I think Somalia was put on the map after, there was a lot of like pirates stealing stuff.
Yeah.
That movie with Tom Hanks there, I Am the Captain Now. What is that? Captain Phillips?
I think Captain Phillips. Yeah, I think it is.
Captain Phillips.
Yeah.
But you went to a place called Somaliland. Somaliland,
yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
It's bizarre, mate. So I was in Ethiopia and I was traveling during lockdown. So most of the countries around the world weren't open. So I was in Tanzania, then I went to Ethiopia, and then I was like, right, I've been in Ethiopia too long here. Where can I go next to make some videos? And literally next to it was Somaliland. So I was looking into it online, and on the UK government website, it says, advise against all travel, all this stuff, as it does for a lot of countries. But then I looked into it and did some research, reached out to a few locals there, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. Just come here and see what it's like for yourself. And you literally turn up. It was like an hour flight from the capital of Ethiopia. You turn up, get a visa on arrival, pay like $50. They wanted $200. It was a bit corrupt. I managed not to pay that. And, yeah, that was it. I spent a week there. I had a local with me, taking me around. Most of it was solo. Most of it was with this guy. That was it, mate, really. It was good.
Nice. Safe?
It was safe. It was fine. Obviously, it's weird. Somaliland is technically its own country. It's got its own government, its own army, its own money, but it's not recognized by the United Nations, so it's technically still part of Somalia.
Yeah.
They want independence from Somalia.
Yeah. It's a really interesting area.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've also had just going through your social media stuff. You've had a lot of bad luck with food poisoning and getting hospitalized.
Yeah, so many times, mate. I pretty up in hospital every single country I go to. Shit.
So how many times did you actually get hospitalized?
Once in Bangladesh, badly. Really, that was the worst I've ever been. Few times in India. Once in India properly. That was with altitude sickness. That was bad. Then like 3 or 4 times in India was just like popping in for like, to see a doctor. I wouldn't really count that. So Ethiopia, I was in a hospital. Tanzania, I was in a hospital on one of the islands. What's the other country? I think that's it. I think 4, maybe 5. I can't remember.
Listen, I'm just gonna give you a free possible idea. You should do hospital reviews.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
So how does this happen? Is it just that you're just like you're feeling like a hero in the street foods, or
Yeah, mate, I get carried away. Like when
that
you're in
looks good?
a country for like, you get. It's weird when you enter a new country. There's this vibe in the air. It's like, wow, you're excited. You know, you're in a new
Yeah.
country. Like you want to try new foods, talk to the locals, all that stuff. And once you get stuck in with the locals, before you know it, you're eating food with them, and I always forget like there's different hygiene standards in these countries, especially in like Bangladesh and Ethiopia. So they're giving you like local teas, and like you eat with your hands and stuff like that. So you're gonna get sick. There's nothing you can do about it. Um, yeah, I've had some horrendous experiences, mate. Like quite scary as well when you're in hospital in some foreign country and you're on a drip. It's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. Once you're in that hospital, I'm sure you're like, fuck. I should just go to Prague next. Like, you know what I mean? Just a generic travel place. Like what? Why do I do this?
Well, the next country I'm going to is Japan. So that's the safe.
Okay.
Obviously, I mentioned to you off camera I was going to Iraq. There's cancelled now.
Oh shit.
A long story, but I'll be going there in December instead. So I'm going to go to the cleanest country in the world, Japan. So
Yeah, and I know that they were closed for a little while during COVID, right?
yeah, they closed for 3 years, so they've only just opened up. So yeah, that's why I'm going to head back there. I've waited 3 years to go back there, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Anyways, I have a question from my editor. So he's a big fan of Bald and Bankrupt, which is a fellow YouTuber that you've been traveling with. And so I guess the question is, can you tell the listeners how you two linked up?
It's random, mate, really. So I went to Syria, and he went to Syria as well about a month later or something with Simon Wilson. And I can't remember what happened. So Simon was there, and I think I messaged Simon on Instagram and said, "Oh, mate, I was just in Syria, have a good time," or something like that. And then he messaged back saying, "Yeah, we're here now, mate, loving it. Bold seen your videos on Syria or something." I was like, "Holy shit, Bold seen my videos? That's weird." And then he left Syria, and then didn't, nothing come of it or anything. He posted his videos and whatever. And I went to Pakistan. And then whilst I was in Pakistan, he messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, mate, blah, 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 seen your videos. Seem like you're, a normal lad, just having a good time traveling around, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, yeah, that's literally me.
So,
And he was like, "Oh, do you want to do the UK road trip, Land's End to John O'Groats?" And I was like, "Absolutely, let's do it." So a week later, I flew home, and that's it, really. Did the UK road trip and stayed in touch ever since. And obviously did Afghanistan with him 3 weeks ago.
and so what was it like traveling with him?
Oh, he's a laugh, mate. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
Who has more beers? Be honest.
Who has more beers?
So who initiates the beers early in the morning or after a night out? Is it you or is it Bald?
Me. So a lot of people were like, when we did the UK road trip, a lot of people were messaging saying, Bold's trying to get Ben drunk and all this stuff. Actually, me that initiated everything. To like drink in Blackpool, to drink in Scotland, it was always me to like encourage him to drink because I like to drink basically, and
I mean, you're from England, you have to, right?
Yeah, so obviously he likes to have a drink again, I guess. But when it came to the content, it was me trying to psych us up for a booze. When we went to Afghanistan before we flew, he initiated having some whiskey before we got to Kabul.
That's respectable as well.
Yeah.
Is he retiring?
Is he retiring from? I don't know. He doesn't. We don't talk about this stuff. No, not a clue.
Okay. Listen, this is my first pledge that we're gonna try to get Bald and Bankrupt on the podcast.
Oh, mate. Good luck with that. Even get hold of him when he's I've got his number and stuff. I can't even get hold of him. It's a nightmare.
So he recently posted on his Instagram pros and cons of traveling with a couple of YouTubers, you included. So can you give the pros and cons of traveling with Bald and Bankrupt?
The pros and cons of traveling with Bold and Bankrupt. Pros, he's just a typical English guy, good banter, always up for a laugh, always up for a night out. So similar to me, really. Lots to talk about, funny stories. Just a normal bloke. So that's the main pro when it comes to traveling with him. Cons, Jesus,
Farts a lot.
yeah, definitely.
Chews with his mouth open.
So I don't know really, mate. On top of my head, so you probably think he's not. You probably think the Soviet stuff is like all an act. Like it's not. Like he loves that shit. So when we were in Afghanistan, we were traveling back from a place called Jalalabad, and there was this bloody tank on the way back, and he thought we drove past it, and he was pissed off. He was like, "I can't believe we've missed that Soviet tank." He kept going on about it because he wanted to obviously like talk about it in his film, and I don't know. It's not really a con, is it? It's it just gets boring just hearing all this like facts and stuff.
He's an informed guy.
He'll try to teach me something, and I'm like, mate, I don't care. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to finish my beer here, bud.
Yeah, I would, and that would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
Anyways, let's get into Q&A.
Q&A.
Q&A, Ben, is just a segment where for people to get to know you a bit better. So,
yeah, cool.
First question, hot or cold?
Hot or cold? As in temperature or food? What?
Whatever you want, baby.
Cold.
You'd like Canada. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Bus or train?
Train 100%.
Yeah, I agree there. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I hate cats. I'm allergic to cats.
You're my type of guy, man. Top or bottom bunk?
Bottom, 100%.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset, definitely. I hate mornings.
What is your favorite sports team?
Manchester United.
When's the last time they won?
So I can't remember. Yeah, I know Man City have just conceded in the last minute. My WhatsApp's going crazy. Can you see my phone?
No.
Right, that's fine because it's like I don't know how you get rid of it. It's popping out everywhere.
If you could have a beer with one person from history, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh, tricky one. Either I'd probably say George Best because it's George Best, isn't it?
Who's George Best?
Who's George Best? He's like one of the greatest football players of all time.
Did he play for United?
Yeah, he played for Manchester United. Irish.
No, I don't know him. I know Wayne Rooney.
I'd have a pint with Wayne Rooney. That would be funny. But I think having a pint with George Best is pretty amazing. So yeah, George Best or who else? I don't know.
George Best is good
George
for
Best.
me, man. What's something you never travel without?
My hairdryer.
Yeah, you got to keep the hair on fleek, right?
Yeah, got to keep it looking decent.
Which country has the best cuisine?
The best cuisine would be England. Pies, roast dinners, English breakfast.
Get a bit of Greg's.
Greg's. We got it. We got the best food in the world, mate. Fact.
Yeah, the best food is always boiled, right?
Yeah, boiled and unseasoned. Can't beat British cuisine. Either that, or it would probably be Syrian. Syrian did some really good food. Lebanon had some awesome meals. But yeah, you can't beat comfort of English food, in my opinion.
What is your biggest travel pet peeve?
Travel pet peeve? What in for me or with traveling with other people?
Traveling with other people.
Traveling with other people. The ones that just don't get involved, they don't respect the culture and don't talk to locals. They're shy. It's annoying. And you've got to like babysit them. That's not talking about bold, by the way. I've traveled with people before, and within about 2 days, I'm like, nah, like these people aren't cut out for it. They're not, they're not enjoying it. So that's
It's
the
like
thing.
I feel like living with a person, traveling with a person. That's when you really know if you're gonna jive with that person, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So, what is the most underrated country in your opinion?
The most underrated country. Trying to think. Give me a second. Well, obviously, a lot of people have been going there in the last couple of years. They've been going to Pakistan. Yeah. But that is a beautiful place. You've got the mountains in the north. You've got a lot of history there. You've got good food and stuff like that. And the people are super friendly. But everyone goes to the neighboring country, India. So, Pakistan is an underrated country. But I thought that with Iraq as well. Obviously, it's not it was safe for me, but I wouldn't go booking your holiday to Iraq unless you've done your research. There's a lot to, take in consideration before you go. But that was an underrated country, in my opinion. Loved it. And same goes to Syria. I really enjoyed that place.
Nice. Yeah, no. So to speak of Pakistan, you said that a lot of people go, but I feel like it's more like experienced travelers that go. I don't think that Pakistan's opened up yet to like the generic traveler yet.
Nah, I disagree.
Really?
I think even if you're not well, 100%. It's better than India, in my opinion. It's I'd probably say it's safer, in my opinion. They're both safe anyway, but I'd say Pakistan. They're both friendly countries, but Pakistan is more friendly. And if you are in any case of help, the locals will always help you and get involved. So obviously we're in India as well, but yeah, I think Pakistan is ready for tourists just to, go full throttle there.
That's really good to know. Yeah, because I mean, there's people that listen to this podcast that may look at Pakistan and be like, that's kind of daunting. Like it's a country that, but no, so
super safe.
Awesome. It's great.
Even for female, a lot of female travelers have been going recently. And that's the thing. People say, oh, it's because you're a male. But I've met countless girls that have been there and they've had an amazing time. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Where is somewhere you'd never go back?
There's a few places probably. I'd never, not because I don't like it, it's because I've been there, done that. I have no reason to go back. So there's many countries like that. But one country, I don't fancy repeating would probably be Bangladesh. Because have you been there?
Nope.
So Dhaka, the capital, is mental. Like the traffic is hell. It's like 5 hours you'd be sat in traffic in a traffic jam. It's crazy. It's it's a crazy place. There's not much to see there. The people are friendly, very friendly people. But yeah, that's probably a country I wouldn't go back to. There's this tiny country called Brunei. I always say that. That's it's quite boring, to be honest. There's nothing really to do there.
My listenership from Brunei is just going to tank now. Fuck.
I know, mate. Everyone's cancelling their flights to Brunei. But yeah, there's no countries that I like. There's no that I hate, but there's some I wouldn't go back to because I have no reason to be fair.
Where did you experience the least friendly locals?
The least friendly locals would be England. Serious, mate. In this country.
Ooh.
Rude, miserable, depressed people in this country.
Where specifically?
The more north you go in England, the friendlier. It's a fact. Everyone knows the northerners are way more friendly than the southerners. Oh, mate, England's full of twats. Like, people that you go on a night out, people start on you, cause problems. You know, when people drink in England, there's always issues and stuff. But we have a good laugh. English are very funny people, but we're wankers. Let's be honest.
So I always tell this story to the English that I bring on the pod, but I was in Scotland and I took a bus from Edinburgh all the way down to Bognor Regis because I had a buddy who lived there, and I tried to pay at the bus with Scottish pounds, and the guy looked at me like I had three heads. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?"
Yeah, you probably didn't know what that was. Scottish pounds. Scottish are way friendlier than English people.
Yeah,
Way
Scotland, man, was very underrated for me. I initially thought I was gonna like Ireland more, and the Highlands, Edinburgh, like unreal,
beautiful, really nice place. We only drove through it for like 2 hours and walked around the city, but I definitely seen it, and it was really good. So I'd like to go back there properly.
Where on your travels were you the most scared?
I wouldn't say I've been scared, but like times where I'm like, shit, like
I might die right now.
I'd rather not be here right now. Specific place in Ethiopia, I was in the Afari region, which borders Somalia and Djibouti. It's known as like the hottest place in the world. We were driving through like these long like desert roads. It was crazy, super hot. Obviously, it's the hottest place in the world, like all year round. That is, and yeah, it was scary. I've made videos about it. Towards the north, there was a terrorist group called Al-Shabaab, I think they're called. They were in the region, and when we got there, the locals warned us, literally, you need to leave now. If they see you, you're dead. Simple as that.
Jesus.
That was pretty... recently in Afghanistan, that was pretty intense, to be fair. I wasn't scared, but like, when you're in a Taliban interrogation room with them questioning you why you're here and stuff, it's weird. You just think, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point of this? And why am I risking everything for this?
And plus, you were with a Russian spy. Like, must have been crazy, right?
yeah. So, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah,
those were great answers, man. I knew that you'd have some really good answers for that one. What is your favorite cocktail?
I don't drink cocktails. I drink pints.
Well, then, where did you find your cheapest pint?
Cheapest pint? Vietnam is the cheapest beer in the world, I believe. I think I was spending like 30p on a beer, like when I was there.
I almost retired this question because it's almost always Vietnam.
Oh, really?
The beer street in Vietnam. I haven't been, but for me, I consider it the Mecca in the world. Like, it's where I worship. Where in the world is your favorite bar?
Yeah. My favorite bar, I do like a British pub. Australians are really good as well for, bars and stuff like that. But I like Tokyo, and obviously that's where I'm going next week. Tokyo's got awesome clubs, awesome bars. South Korea's got them as well. Oh, mate, there's so many places, so many. Europe's obviously probably your best places.
Is there one that sticks out? One bar that you're like, man, I wish I could go back there.
I couldn't remember the name, mate. Couldn't remember the name.
That's the best answer for this question.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the top 5.
Top 5.
So before we get into top 5, top 5, you're going to be covering tips for traveling countries that are maybe that are perceived to be dangerous. First, before we get into that though, I want to talk to you about, or I want you to tell me a bit about why you're attracted to going to these countries.
Well, I always think like there has to be more to it than what the media portrays. Like it can't, the population of these countries. Like for example, I think Iraq is like, I might be completely wrong, but 40 million maybe 40 million. Baghdad probably has like 4 million people in Baghdad. Surely not every single person there is a terrorist or going to kidnap you. So that's what I like to just think. And I like to go to these places and prove to people that there are just normal people there trying to live a normal life, just trying to have a laugh. You know, we've all got the same dreams, same goals in life.
To become a YouTuber.
That's the worst thing you want to be, I tell you. Jesus. You're going to end up dead.
End up on podcasts.
But, yeah, fucking hell. But, yeah, like I'd just like to prove people wrong. Like there's places that you shouldn't be going, that you do go to them, and it's never what the media portrays. So, and the UK government advise against all travel, all this nonsense.
It's
so
a lot of it, I feel, is the media that portrays kind of our
it's always the media
of a country, right? Because I feel like if, for example, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to Syria, the last thing that, like, for example, my parents would think about is what they've seen on the news, right? Bombs and...
Of course, yeah.
But it's
just negative stuff.
And it's also like when they're showing a certain segment of like, oh, there's something that happened here, like something also to think of is like, that's not the whole country. That's one part,
nope.
Right? Because I know that like the north of Syria, where it borders with like Turkey, that's where there's a lot of the conflict is happening, right? But it's like, what about the south? South is not affected.
Pretty much most of Syria has been affected, but not the capital, Damascus. That was pretty much intact. Obviously, I don't know the whole political story to it, but yeah, I agree. It's like, you know, not everyone's involved in this. So the 99.9% of people are just like me and you. So that's the people I want to go see and, you know, show people, you know, it's normal.
Sure.
That is normal people.
So yeah, can you give us your top 5 advice for people that are considering going to perceived dangerous places? Yeah,
so definitely do your research first. Don't just trust my opinion on it. Like, actually do your research. So do your research about the country first. Go with an open mind. So that's 2. Number 3, get stuck in. Speak to the people. Don't be shy. Number 4, I mean, those are the main 3. Can you think of any more?
We can stick it with the 3, man.
3, yeah, that's the main 3 in my opinion. Get involved, go with an open mind, and just do your research before.
Good. Right on. So let's get into the story.
Story time.
The most extreme thing would probably be, you know, the recent adventure in Afghanistan, you know, spending 4 hours in a Taliban headquarters with people that don't speak English, guns pointing at you, and, you know, it's mental. I was just thinking, what the hell am I doing? Me and Bob was sat there just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is mental. You know, we took our SD cards out of our cameras just in case they wanted to search it, and they assumed we were journalists or like spies or something, which is like a no. If you caught doing that in Afghanistan, that's it. You're in prison forever.
Holy shit.
So obviously we're just going there filming it. You know, there's nothing bad on our cameras, but maybe the Taliban would have thought, hold on, what's this? You can't be filming this. And they thought we were journalists or something. Who knows? So that was pretty scary and pretty intense.
So were they like pointing guns at you? Like, what was the situation of when they like brought you in for questioning?
It's weird, mate. They like swing their guns around, like loaded guns. They'll just swing it around like and don't realize they're pointing at you. And you're just sat there like, holy fuck, if that goes off now, my head's blown off. So they're very careless with how they're holding their weapons. But you're probably thinking they're all like scary and like, you know, but most of them were super friendly, like extremely friendly. And they'd offer us tea, offer us food whilst we're in those rooms. And they're just curious on who we are, basically. Obviously, I know there's a lot of people don't like them for reasons and stuff, but we actually got treated quite well from them. And everyone in general in Afghanistan was super friendly. So it was a bizarre experience, mate. It was bizarre.
So is that place is that a place that you'd recommend people to go?
No, not of course not. No. If you're into hardcore travel, 100%. I've got many friends that have been and gone recently now. I've got a friend that's there now called Ben as well. And I've noticed a few other YouTubers have gone since me and Bold did our videos, and a lot have been messaging me on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, crack on. If you're into that, then 100%. I mean, Afghanistan's beautiful. The mountains are amazing. The people are super friendly. You just got to take into consideration, like, the people now in charge aren't used to tourists, so they're not too sure how to act when there's, a guy walking around with a camera in front of them. So they just assume American or journalist, and either arrest you or hit you with a gun across the face. Who knows?
Right, yeah, that's pretty fucking.
No, it was good fun. It was good fun. I probably wouldn't go back though. It's one of those things, you do it and then it's like, right, let's not do that again.
Yeah, it's like the hyena.
Yeah,
Scared of the bite.
I'll do that. I wanted to do it more, but he wanted like 20 quid or something. It was trying to scam me.
Man, any other interesting stories from? I know you said that you did like Iraq, Syria, Pakistan.
There's no individual story. It's all just one crazy journey whilst you're there. One of the most dangerous things I've done is probably when I went to Pakistan. I went on the most dangerous road in the world. Now, that used to be a road in Bolivia or something, but apparently that's now closed and you can't drive on it. It's now just walkable.
Yeah,
is that
we
right?
actually had a guest come on and talk about that. Yeah.
So you can't drive on it anymore. So therefore, that's not a road in my opinion. That's a path, isn't it? So now the most dangerous road in the world is the one in Pakistan. And that road, honestly, was mental. Like, there's like a 4,000-foot drop and the wheel is like hanging off. It was terrifying. And the driver's like smoking weed or whatever he was smoking at the time, just like playing music. And I'm just thinking, what are you doing? And that was one of the videos that got like 30,000 views. I couldn't believe it.
Fuck. Yeah, those are.
I was like, that's it. This is going to be a great hit. It's going to be a viral video, and it gets like 30,000 views. It's like, fucking hell, what am I doing?
Fuck, dude.
Frustrating.
That's the type of trip that you're like, you unlock the door in case you have to jump out.
Yeah, I said to my mate that we need to stay near this in case we need to jump out on the car whilst it's falling.
Start leaning like towards the cliff. The back seat.
What we did, yeah, that's exactly what we did, mate. I'm not even kidding. It's great.
Yeah. Could you maybe leave us with a last episode, maybe not from that region, but just something across or throughout your travels that stands out as a crazy fucking story? Because that's what my passion is.
There's just so many, mate. Obviously, you got your Afghan trips, your Iraq trips.
Went to like Uzbekistan's too.
The whole thing. Yeah, those places are perfectly safe. Like, there's never going to be any issue there. We went to some gypsy villages as well, and they were perfectly fine. You're probably thinking like, oh, there must be some mental. I think next year is going to be the big one, because Africa is always mental whenever I go there, and obviously I want to go to South America next year. So South America seems to be the most dangerous place, they claim, isn't it? Well, that's what travelers tend to say, Africa and South America. But obviously I'll predominantly focus on Asia and East Africa. So I'm sure you'd have to get me back on next year, mate, because I'm sure there's going to be some mental ones. Man.
And you're right, South America is definitely a place that seems to be, it's probably one of the most dangerous. There's a lot of guns, a lot of poverty. Well,
surely America is the most dangerous place.
I guess, yeah.
There's places in America I wouldn't dream of going. Like, no chance. Walking around with a camera, not a bloody chance, mate. And no chance.
Like, just to your point of South America being one of the most dangerous places in the world, for a while, like, reaching out to people, being like, hey, do you have crazy stories? Like, YouTubers, fellow travelers, stuff like that. And like, we wouldn't stay off the continent. It was like Brazil, Peru, Colombia. It just like, I was like, fuck, do you have a story outside of South America? Because I feel like the listeners are like, what the fuck's going on? Is there only one continent here? Like,
yeah, well, that's the same. Whenever I meet travelers around the world, they always tell me their horror stories from South America, like getting mugged at knife point and shit like this, robbed at gunpoint. And I'm just like, fucking hell, like, I don't want to go there. But I have to. I can't not go.
Man,
Can't not go.
as dangerous as it is in areas. I think you just need to use your common sense. Like we've been, I guess, twice in the last 4 or 5 months. We went to Colombia, we went to Peru, and I did get robbed. I guess in Brazil, I did get sexually assaulted by an army person that had a gun. Yeah. Yeah, so it definitely is dangerous. I think if you're traveling, you just have to be careful. Like, for example, when I was in Brazil, I was in my hostel and I was watching, there was like a TV on. I just like looked at the TV, and in the favelas in Rio, there was a police helicopter on fire.
Yes, mate. Jesus Christ, fucking hell. South America, it is 100%.
Awesome. Anyways, man. So listen, this was awesome. I'm looking forward to having you back on. And can you tell the people? Can you remind the people where to find you?
Yeah, so just search Backpacker Ben on social media. It'll come up. And yeah, my next journey is going to be chilled. It's going to be in Japan. So nice and chilled, but it's going to be a lot of drinking, a lot of stupid things. And yeah, it should be a good trip. And then I'm heading back to Iraq in December before hitting Africa. And who knows, maybe South America next year.
You got to be careful though, man. Sometimes, you say, oh, this is going to be the more chilled trip, and then you fucking end up in jail or something. You never know.
Yeah, the Japanese mafia or something. Who knows? Jesus. Yeah.
Anyways, man, thanks a lot for coming on. And like I said, we got to get Bald and Bankrupt on here too.
Oh, I'll try to get hold of him, but it won't happen.
We'll get him a blanket, and he'll feel right at home.
All right, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice one.
Thank you for listening to Two Beers Till Takeoff. Do you want free additional content or just to stay connected with the show? Then give us a follow on our social media platform. That means TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Are you in need of podcast production services, video editing, or anything in between? Then look no further than Strut Sound Productions, the official producer of the Two Beers Till Takeoff podcast. Music produced by Alex Gagne. Check out his work in our show notes. Voiceover done by Viking Leo K. See you next week on Two Beers Till Takeoff.